Dear students, today's topic is textual questions and answers and other questions and answers of the poem Keeping Quiet. The first question is, what will counting up to 12 and keeping still help us to achieve? Counting up to 12 and keeping still will help us to understand ourselves and to introspect. We will be able to realize the real impact of our selfish actions on each other and finally on the entire humanity. Question number 2. Do you think the poet advocates total inactivity and death? The answer to this question is, the poet does not advocate total inactivity because he has a firm belief in life. He wants everyone to live a complete life full of peace and contentment. He wants everyone to take a break from the hectic schedule and introspect for a while to improve the quality of life. Before question number 3, I request all of you to please to subscribe to my YouTube channel for further videos and lessons on Flamingo textbook. The question number 3, what is the sadness the poet refers to in the poem? The poet refers to the sadness which all human beings experience because of the lifestyle of non-stop work, stress, aggression, and destruction. This sadness comes because man does not understand himself. Question number 4. What symbol from nature does the poet invoke that there can be life under apparent stillness? The answer to this question is, the poet uses earth as a symbol to invoke that there can be life after apparent stillness. The earth seems still from outside, but is alive and vibrant deep within. Similarly, our silence can help us to maintain a harmonious life on earth and stop destruction. Now, short answer type questions from the poem. Question number 1. Life is what it is all about. How is keeping quiet related to life? Keeping quiet is related to life because in order to live a complete life, one must live life to its fullest. In order to live quality life, which is full of happiness, peace, and satisfaction, we must develop a habit of thinking deeply, and this can be achieved through introspection. Question number 2. Why does one feel a certain strangeness on counting to 12 and keeping quiet? The answer is, when one keeps quiet and stops all his selfish actions and takes a break from the monotonous routine, one gets time to introspect and analyze one's actions. This brings a feeling of certain strangeness because we never take a break from hectic activity and continuous talk. Question number 3. Question number 2 is, why does one feel a certain strangeness On count to 12 and keeping quiet. When one keeps quiet and stops all his selfish actions and takes a break from the monotonous routine, one gets time to introspect and analyze one's actions. This brings a feeling of relief, feeling of certain strangeness because we never take a break from hectic activity and continuous talk. Now, question number third. How will keeping quiet protect our environment? The answer is keeping quiet refers to stopping all activities for a moment and introspect. This will help us to analyze the kind of deeds we are doing for our selfish purpose but which harm nature. This moment will make us understand the fact that harmony with nature is very essential for the survival of mankind. Question number 4. What will possibly be the effect of keeping quiet? The answer is keeping quiet will result in a mutual understanding among all human beings and understanding ourselves. We will be able to understand the fact that the balance between nature and human beings is essential for our existence on the earth. The question number 5. Which is the exotic moment that the poet refers to in keeping quiet? The poet refers to the exotic moment when everyone would be silent and still and there will be no noise or mad race. It will evoke an environment of peace and quietness with no conflict, quarrels, agreements, or wars. This moment will bring a sense of togetherness among all human beings. Question number 6. How can keeping quiet change our attitude to life? The answer to this question is if we keep quiet for a moment to introspect and seize our selfish and destructive actions, it will lead to our understanding ourselves and may change our attitude. The question number 7. Which images in the poem Keeping Quiet show that the poem condemns violence? The answer is Pablo Neruda gives the image of green war, war with gas, and wars with fire, and then associates these wars with victory with no survivors. This is to emphasize the fact that wars will bring an end to the entire human race. This shows that he condemns violence. Question number 8. What are the different types of wars mentioned in the poem? And what is Neruda's attitude towards these wars or towards them? The answer is Pablo Neruda has mentioned green wars, wars with fire, and wars with gas. The poet does not appreciate the concept of war. He condemns it by saying that these wars will result in victory with no survivors. So, instead of these wars and conflicts, we must develop the concept of mutual understanding and coexistence. Question number 9. How can suspension of activities help? The suspension of activities will help us to introspect. It will provide an insight into the mad, rush, and selfish action we indulge in. When we are able to ponder and analyze our own actions and attitudes, we will develop mutual understanding and realize the importance of coexistence. Question number 10. Why is Pablo Neruda against total inactivity? The poet is against total inactivity because it means death, whereas the poet has firm belief in life. He only wishes us to introspect and take a break from the hectic, aimless life. Question number 11. What does the poet want all the perpetrators of war to do? The poet wants them to make their conscience clean from the envy and selfish motives. They should stop fighting and develop an understanding of peace among the human beings. Question number 12. What will be the ultimate end of man if the present scenario of wars and conflicts continues? If the present scenario of wars and destruction continues, it will lead to total destruction of the humanity. We all will perish and nobody will be left to celebrate the victory. Question number 13. How our state of mind will be changed if we maintain silence and suspend activity for a while. Question number 13 is how our state of mind will be changed if we maintain silence and suspend activity for a while. The answer is the poet believes that if we all stop for a moment to introspect and realize the impact of our actions, then we will be able to understand the need to be together and develop a mutual understanding for the survival on earth. Now, question number 14. How would keeping quiet affect life in and around the sea? Keeping quiet would affect life in and around the sea, as the fishermen would not be killing the whales and the men gathering salt would give rest to their injured hands. Question number 15 is how is the earth a source of life when all seems dead on it? When all seems dead on the earth, it is not really quiet. It seems calm, but in reality, it is nurturing life underneath. Question number 16. How is total inactivity on the earth in the winter months full of life? In winter months, one finds the total inactivity in nature, but the poet does not advocate total inactivity. Quite he feels quietude of winter months. Quietude of winter months is ripe with a hope for a peaceful world. Now, question number 17. According to Pablo Neruda, how will keeping quiet be an exotic moment? The poet feels that the moment of silence would be an exotic moment because it would be an instance of universal brotherhood and harmony. In that moment, all of us would initiate introspection through meditation, and the whole world would be shrouded in quietness. Question number 18, and it's the last question. Wars are green. What are green wars? Who wages them and with what result? Green wars imply waging a war against nature by causing environmental degradation. People wage war against nature for their self interest. All wars originate from the lack of self understanding. The students, this was the question and answers of keeping quiet. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.